Hi guys and welcome back. It is your creative weird makeup artist friend Cat Sketch to bring you another makeup transformation video. Today we're going to turn into a lazy alien girlfriend. I've always wanted to turn into an alien, but I want to do a twist of making it kind of cute, kind of pretty. So subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. I post videos every Monday and Friday doing beauty makeups, effects videos, body paintings. We do Halloween year-round on this channel while telling creepy stories. I've been in the makeup industry for over 7 years, so it's about to get cool. So subscribe. Now I've always wanted to turn into alien, but this time I want to make it kind of glam, kind of cute, hence the lazy alien girlfriend. I also really wanted to talk about creepy alien encounter stories that I found on Reddit. I've always been interested in alien stories since I was a kid. I used to watch X-Files till the middle of the night. So let's get started turning into this alien while talking about creepy alien encounter stories. So this first alien story is from someone on Reddit called Appalachian Wind, and this is the first time they've ever told this story to anybody, it seems like, or even written it down to someone outside of their family, that is. They're leaving out the times and place and some details of the story because they are deathly afraid that it's going to happen to them again. And yes, I'm putting on a wig cap because we are going to have a pretty cute wig later. If you don't like aliens with wigs with little antennas popping out, this is not the video for you, but I've been introduced to really pretty alien girlfriends from shows like Rick and Morty, so that's the direction I'm going towards. So in the summer of 8th grade at midnight, this person and their friends, she and her friends went out walking to a girl's house that was like down the street because the girls over there were having a sleepover. And when they were walking through the neighborhood towards the girl's house, they looked up in the sky and they saw a huge blimp-like figure in the dark sky. If you've ever seen pictures of a Hindenburg blimp, it was like that, but it was bigger. It was like the size of 4 or 5 football fields across, the shape that they saw in the sky that night. And it was like these girls were in trance and they just stayed in place and all stared at it, not knowing what to do. I mean, they were young, they were only in the 8th grade. Of course, we're doing the usual alien with the big eyes. It was like a gunmetal color, polished, and it was very silent with no lights whatsoever, or just so ominous, you know? And they were standing there in silent for so long, they don't remember what really happened next, but that they, all of a sudden it like disappeared in time shift, and what was left there was like this weird white barrel figure, whatever type alien government experience or whatever that was. This white barrel light thing that was left behind was slowly falling to earth with like white smoke coming from it, like emitting from it. And then after they saw this like white barrel thing pop up, they saw like 2, they think it was black F-150 trucks, like brand new ones, speed down the residential street at like 75 miles per hour when it was like a 25 mile per hour residential street speed limit towards said object. But they do remember going to their friend's house to go to sleep at the sleepover, and they remember it being about 5 or 6 a.m. at that point. That's late. If some girl showed up to my house at 5 or 6 in the morning to a sleepover, I'd be like, excuse me, ma'ams? Especially 8th graders. I hope they already woke up at the sleepover at 5 or 6 in the morning. And she tried to remind herself to tell her dad about this, but she forgot. She doesn't know what happened to her other friends that were there that night with her when she saw these, but she knows that they all kind of formed a pact together not to, they had this like unspoken rule to never talk about it again. And over the years, when they grew up, they kind of lost touch. And when they grew up to be older adults, they kind of reconnected on Facebook and were messaging each other on Facebook, but they never like really talked about it still. It's like they had a pact over it, but they didn't talk about it, if that makes any sense. And it was late at night in a heavily populated suburban city, so they thought that, you know, they weren't the only ones to have seen this. It was like common fact. I mean, they couldn't have been the only ones to see this, right? And she was scared that at the point that she could have been abducted, and she thought about like a hypnosis type therapy, but she was also scared to do that as well. Because what if she doesn't come out of the hypnosis? So she swears that this is a true story, and she was surprised that there was nothing about it on television, in the news, in media, because she couldn't have been the only one, her and her 2 other friends that were with her that night in this suburban town. I'm just gonna set this with some matte black eyeshadow. So this next story is interesting to say the least. This person's mom and her friend Lisa were up on the roof of their house chilling out. They're teenagers at the time and they saw in the sky a certain weird light, and the next thing they know, the light went out. And the thing is, they were on the roof for 15 minutes, but something like 3 entire hours had passed. And this person's mom doesn't remember anything that happened while those 3 hours passed, and the friend refuses to even talk about what happened on that roof. And when this person's mom would ask her friend Lisa what happened that night, she says she doesn't know, or she would just angrily say to just drop it. I'm using the Spirit Board palette from Peachy Queen. It is one of my absolute favorite palettes for spooky time season. I'm using the color Spirit right now, and I used the color No for the eyes. So a couple months after that, after she kept asking Lisa, they lost touch because her mom moved and they hadn't talked to each other, the mom and Lisa, for 10 years. When they would talk, Lisa would be appearing very like distant in a dreamy demeanor, and her mom couldn't understand like what was going on with her friend. And while they're talking, rekindling their friendship, kind of reconnecting, the friend Lisa brings up the rooftop, and this girl's mom still's like, you know, I still don't know what really happened that night on the roof. And while they're talking about it, Lisa, all of a sudden bits and pieces of what happened to them that night were coming back to her, because she remembered everything, but it was 10 years past, remember, so some of it was lost, but again, bits and pieces were coming back, and she was starting to explain to her mom what happened. She remembers that Lisa was abducted 3 times after that night on the roof. She said that she was somewhat paralyzed when it first happened, and they did all these invasive things and surgeries to her. And at one time when they were experimenting on her, they stopped probing her to start to talk to her and communicate. They didn't speak English or any language that she understood, but she still somehow was talking to them and understood them. I'm starting to look like a blue jack skeleton. Hopefully we'll look like an alien. But she couldn't speak their language herself, but basically they told her everything about space and what they knew about Earth. Just doing some blush. Yes, our alien's gonna have blush. Ooh, let's do heart formation. And they told her that she could only get pregnant in a specific year and that she was having stillborns. Scary, crazy. And they told her that she would never be able to have children again. And these alien people told her that it wasn't their fault that she was having these stillborns, and that it was just in her fate. What? Excuse me? They'd also told her that they had abducted her mother another time before they abducted her. Man, they're just telling her all of the hidden meanings of everything, aren't they? Like, forget those My DNA tests that you mail in. These aliens, like, have the market on it. Just layering pink over this. It's some bright pink cream blush. And Lisa's mom has no recollection of being abducted, but the weird thing is, when she asked her mom about this, her mom does have dreams of herself being abducted, but she doesn't think she actually was abducted. Girl, what if that was not a dream? What if it really happened, you know? Ooh, my favorite bright green eyeshadow makes such a good like makeup highlight for this alien. This is the highlight I'm talking about. This is called Mary Jane by Colourpop. It is so beautiful. If you're looking for a weird green highlighter for Halloween season, it's amazing. Anyways, Lisa tells her mom that every time she speaks with said aliens, she starts to know the truth more, whatever that means. And when her mom asks her what the truth is, Lisa just tells her, oh, you will know eventually. Sus. What? How? If I told my mom, like, my mom's like, oh, what about this? Asking about something. I'm like, oh, you'll know eventually. My mom would be slapping me across the head like, excuse me, I asked you a question. But that's just Asian mothers for ya. I'm doing like a glam little alien. Speaking of glam alien, she needs some lashes, right? Yes, she does. Let's do some highlight dots. And apparently this person's mom still sees this woman who claims she was abducted over the years. And the woman has like a fairly decent regular life with kids and everything. Doing little sparkles. Like anime girl, little sparkle. Doing like highlights on the high points. So this next person suffered from sleep paralysis, and you know, it sounds like a normal thing, but this person and their dad would watch alien shows, and then He claimed that people who had sleep paralysis he assumed that they were abducted at some point in their lives. And one night, I'm guessing during one of his sleep paralysis dreams, he saw flashes of blue light and felt his body being lifted out of the bed. How scary. And he could hear large mechanical whirring. And when he woke up, his chest was like stuck out, lifted up, and his hands were like zombie-like mode. And his experience was so intense, he was wondering if it was really him having sleep paralysis or actually being abducted, because it seems so realistic. Some of my dreams seem so realistic. I wonder the same thing, like I will have the same, not recurring dream, but the same setting of like being in an abandoned mall or being in like a creepy mansion, and they have the same furniture and settings all the time in my dreams and nightmares. I rarely have dreams and I always have nightmares usually. It's just weird all around. All right, so now I'm gonna put a wig on. I'm also gonna put a big bow in her hair. And just like that, we are completely done turning into the lazy alien girlfriend, or my version of it. She's very cute, a touch of kawaii, but very lazy and loves to use Grubhub, Postmates, Ubers, all of it. She finds Earth life so intriguing and left her family just to come visit you and do nothing. If you head on over to my TikTok, there will also be more behind the scenes of the alien girlfriend singing and the song that inspired this look. All the products I use in this video will be listed down below in the description box. As always, subscribe for more videos like this. I do 2 videos a week every Monday and Friday here on this channel while talking about creepy stories while doing makeup. Leave a comment down below on what this lazy alien girlfriend should be named before she is beamed up back to her UFO. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, creators. Bye!